If you've ever attended the Chicago Air and Water Show, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back. Happy Thursday. It is another day of live trading. We've got some money to make. We've got some stuff to break down. I got 13. I hope you all are ready. Let's get it.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Good morning, folks, and welcome back. Great to see the early birds here. Wally, Bob, Richard, Market Sniper, Shaka, 2% better today. As you there when the stream starts, you love to see it. Jonathan, good morning. Daniel, River, Alex, Purgatory Park, AC 2000, and of course, the one and only Beach Bum Trading. Good morning, folks. It is time to get rolling. Let me bring on 13 so we can make some sense of what's going on. 13, how the heck are you doing here today?
Oh, doing all right. Can't complain. Just looking to see what we're going to get with this market this morning. We got a pretty nasty candle yesterday, but we'll get into that. It's actually going to really fit into the downside I'm looking towards. But let's trade this. What do you say?
Okay, let's do it. Well, we're going to start with the SPY like we normally want to do, right? That's the whole thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and do that. By the way, Alex giving you some crispy tips here in the morning. If you guys are appreciative of 13 and I and the entire team that works behind the scenes to pull off all of our shows, one of the best things that you can do is hit that like and subscribe button. It's free and it really, really helps us out. If you want to go above and beyond, tell your friends, come here and chill. We would love to have them. So, Alex, really appreciate you doing the Lord's work for us. That is amazing. Okay, let's take a look at the SPY here. We seem to be kind of continuing our bounce. We did get a data print here today that's causing us to move up here in the pre-market. Jobless claims came in at 233,000 versus the 241,000 estimate. That caused the market to trade up here. You can see weekly unemployment claims decline more than expected. Cool recession concerns, stocks rebound. The question for me is, how long is that going to last? What is the next trade that we should make here? To me, looking at the SPY in terms of its levels, it looks like a very, very clear rejection here at the 100-day and the move back down. So what's next? The 200-day or a retest of that 100-day and a move higher? 13, I turn that to you.
Well, yesterday's candle with that big move, throughout the rest of the day after we had an intraday double top, resulted in a bearish engulfing candle. So this implies that we're going to see some more downside ahead. Now, as far as today goes with that jobless claims number, we could see an initial pop out of the gate and try to trade up. I would probably say that it would be surprising to see it get back up to 530, but it could totally happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I personally don't think it will. It may just find some resistance somewhere between there and its current position, probably around 527, maybe a little bit lower. I can't say for sure, but my initial thought here is that because of this bearish engulfing candle, that's a big signal to me that we are going to be headed lower. Just don't really have a great grasp on what the price action is going to look like, but I think down is where we are ultimately headed. We still have the 518.30 level that we got some support from yesterday. That could end up falling. Got to get through 521 first. And then beneath that is 515.50 and 512. Those would be the next downside targets I'll be looking if we cannot hold up here.
Okay, and if you think we're going for more downside, maybe some of those short side ETFs might be the play here today, as we really don't have a lot on the movers here. Christopher, good morning. Great to have you back. Hope y'all are good. I am good, brother. Hopefully you are good as well. Thanks for joining us here today. Same with you, Gerald. Good morning. Jay, good morning as well. And everyone else that is not chatting, good morning. It's great to see you. Okay, so good stuff there on the SPY. Let's go ahead and just start with the movers here because there's just so little stuff on that I think what we'll do here is we can focus a majority of the prep session to covering the stocks that you folks want to take a look at. And you know what? That might even include penny stocks if you want. Sorry, I normally don't say that, but I had to say, I know, I cringed a little myself too. But you know what? We're here to make money. And if there's money being made in some of those penny stocks, we'll break them down for you. I just normally don't prepare for them. We do have a couple of things to talk about. Let's just go ahead and get started. I'll stop wasting time here. All right. First one on the list here is going to be Wena. You call it whatever you want here. This is about $1 stock popping here to above $1.50. We'll see if we can make another run towards the highs here, maybe that $2. This is Anu Medical Incorporated. Anu Medical shares trading higher after the company announced the grantee and insurance of patent number HK1259628. Glad I didn't screw that up. For the treatment of neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, and ALS. So right away, I understand why the stock is popping. Those are three horrific diseases. Some of them have huge markets as well. So this is popping here. I think this is a pretender, still nothing more than a day trading stock. I do like the action here on this in the pre-market, right? We kept trying to pop. We actually really didn't break down. We've settled around the VWAP. We actually have higher lows going on here in the pre-market. So far the action looks good, but I still think that this stock is more of a pretender than anything else. So if you're going to trade this here today, be careful. I didn't check any of the other stuff here. It looks like we don't really have a short reading here on that. That could just be because it's new.
Well, we've actually traded this before.
Yeah, seeing the insiders here, July 2nd, we're selling on the open market. Not good. So 13, what say you here on this? What do you think?
Well, this patent news is actually one of the reasons why it ran last time, why we traded it last time. This was on June 26th when it had that gap up. You'll see the volume candle there as well. This was also on patent news. So it's entirely possible we could see this run and then come right back in. This is not something you want to invest in or hold. This is just a day trade only. And upside targets I have marked off here from the last time we traded this when it was back in the between 5 and 9. But today we might not get as much. So I'll have some levels for you a little bit later. But this one is this was one of the only movers that I have here, and it's got 1.14 million shares. So it could get pushed around. Maybe it goes as high as $3, but we'll have to see. I'll give you some levels in a little bit. But this is the first one I'm watching. This is an old ex-girlfriend. Be very careful with this one because if you look at June, the candle for June 26th. That's the price action we got on the last time I had patent news.
Yep, here you go. Smoke Tuna agreeing with us here. Weena is a no touch, and you've got the stop sign. Talk to the hand, says Tuna. Do not trade this. You'll be better off doing something else. Little bit more serious note here. Zero cash runway. Company's clearly going to need to raise or get cash in some way. So whatever happens here is likely not going to end great. Tuna, good stuff there on Weena. Next here is going to be apps. And these are not the appetizers at your favorite restaurant. This is Digital Turbine. We've traded this one a number of times. This has been off the relative volume scanner and all of that. We've seen that here before. It's going again. It's popping here as high as 240. Came back in, really kind of hugging around the VWAP there. We'll see if this gives us a opportunity to trade it here. Now, last night after hours, we actually did get earnings here, so that's going to be your catalyst driving it. You had a top and bottom line beat here. Was this a revenue up? Was this a guide up? They reaffirmed, they reaffirmed their guidance there. So causing it not really to break down here. Plus 19%. 13. What do you got on this one?
A little bit more of a real company here. We
a little bit, just a tad.
That's a little bit. One that's going to have continued demand. They mentioned that in their report. They're going to see continued demand into the second half of the fiscal year of 2025. This is just their first 2025 fiscal year Q1 report. They do have 86.2 million shares in the float, so this isn't going to be one of those easy to move around stocks, but it's still not huge like the next one we're going to talk about or the one we were trading yesterday, Lumen. Not huge like that, so you might get some more price action out of this one than we would out of Lumen, and it's a good company. Don't have really that much short interest of note. It's only got 6.6% with 3 days to cover. So not really much of a short squeeze candidate, and they have no reverse splits. They did do a regular split, a 1-for-5 back in 2013. No splits since then.
Okay. Really good stuff there. Okay, look. Hey. Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa. We've got somebody joining the party. None of this was on our radar when we were preparing here this morning. Ticker GVP, Golf Victor Papa. I guess this is GSE. Oh, it's an acquisition, so there's no trade. Yep. Okay, well, that was easy. 13, we did it. That was fast and easy. You know, we like it like that. It looks like this is going to get bought out here at $4.10 per share. Price $3.98. You're basically just an arbitrage price there. This is a big pass, but cool. We figured that out pretty quick. Okay, now the next two that I have on the movers list is it, and these are both real companies. First one here is going to be Eli Lilly, ticker LLY, Lima Yankee. Eli Lilly shares trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q2 financial results and raised its full year guidance. If we take a look at the news feed here, you can see this was a beat on the top and the bottom line, and full year revenue guidance looks to be in line. Did they raise that here? Forecast adjusted EPS versus the price. Yes, they did. So you had a beat on the top and the bottom line and a raise. And to me, the biggest part of this, or the most, how do I want to say it? The most bullish part of this, right here, it says Eli Lilly, Mounjaro, Zepbound, Verzenio. I'm probably pronouncing these wrong. I'm sorry. Jardiance, Power Q2 performance. The takeaway for me here is that it's not just the love handle trade. That's it. It's not just the fat drugs. It is a large portion of their drug portfolio here in different areas, clearly firing on all cylinders. Stock up here 12.3% post these earnings. The other thing to keep in mind here real quick about Eli Lilly is that we've actually already seen a pretty significant corrective move. We use the measuring tool here when we go from the top to this recent bottom. This stock sold off by about 22% on this move down, and now we have some positive news from that area. So 13, I think the big question here for me on Eli Lilly is no question to me that the earnings are good, but the big question to me is, for trading purposes, what are we doing next? Do we think that this maybe can kind of close this gap that we have, maybe even trade up to the highs, or do we think this is a fade after some of that news is out there? If we go back, let me just give you a little bit more here real quick. I'm sure you're going to touch on some of these key levels and why. If we go back to a bigger chart here, you can see we're actually going to be battling with the 50-day moving average here. So as far as a multi-day trade here on Eli Lilly, let's see if we get above the 50-day and if we can close there. So 13, sorry, kind of long-winded there. What say you here on Lilly?
Well, this is a good company. They are pretty much firing on all cylinders right now, and they have a lot of great things going for it. My concern is the environment we're in. We're starting to see the growth trade. This is not necessarily a growth stock, but we're starting to see the growth trade folks getting a little bit scared out of that, looking for value stocks. If we're getting rate cuts, we're going to probably see a lot of rotation into value names that have high yielding dividends. This really isn't one of those companies, and this has been owned. It's practically over-owned at this point. I would think that with that environment in mind, and you have funds that are looking to raise cash, you might see a little bit selling. You might see some selling into this strength. It might be slow, might be systematic, and there might be some folks that want to continue to hold this and that think that's going to 1,000, and I couldn't blame them. It's a great company that's doing really well. I just don't like this environment that we're in right now, and I think there's going to be some profit taking at some point soon here. For me, I think it's going to be worth watching that 50-day SMA to see what happens with that, if we get a close above it or beneath it, and I believe that's going to determine where we want to do next, or what we're going to want to do next, is where that ends up. But with those things in mind, I would think that we do trade up a little bit. But if I was a holder of this and I've been holding it for a while, I think I'd be starting to sell a little bit.
Okay. I'm with you there, and I will see. I mean, think about it. If you're in this stock and you have this big move here, it makes sense to lighten up. It makes sense to book some of the profit and keep that. keep that profit in your pocket. Smoke Tuna, I like what you're trying to do here, but we're going to shut this down with the quickness. Are you guys saying we trade fake companies like crypto all of the time? No, I'm sure there are some companies that are in there that are somewhat fake or maybe shell companies, not all the time. But when I say real companies, I mean like really good quality companies. And there's no secret, you know exactly what I mean here. Some of these really low priced, kind of junkier stocks, not the greatest, but often produce some of the biggest morning moves, which is why we cover some of these. But no, I'm not going to be roped into your circular death spiral all the way to the bottom. I know it was a joke. I'm joking back with you. Come on. I got a big smile on my face. Let's go.
Jay Rice, not everybody wants to own growth stocks in a low interest environment. They're going to want to own income stocks as well, especially people that don't regularly trade.
I like income stocks too. I like holding stuff that pays me just to hold it.
Right.
To me, that's pretty awesome. I know, pretty awesome. Amanda here saying, I don't think it can cover this gap in this market for Lilly. I'm cashing in my options for the win. Guess what, guys? We're starting off with some register rings here this morning. We'll take that all day long. Would love to see some more of that. Okay. Was that it from, I know I switched off the mover. Was there one more on there? Hood. Yes, there was. But you know what? We'll finish off on the larger chart so it's easier on everybody's eyes. Here is your hood chart. This, to me, still clean bounce off that 200-day. The recapture of the 200-day on this particular day, that is what, Monday, August 5th, so Monday this week. That recapture, super crispy. Higher we go here on Hood. My question to the group here is, where's the next resistance level? We're at the biggest volume shelf that I can see on the daily chart. To me, I've got the 100-day here at just about $20 right above it. We got the 50-day at $21.85. So to me, those are going to be your two biggest resistance areas. I'm not sure if we get there today. Even if we got up to that 100-day, that would be a pretty substantial move from where we're at, $1.70. From where we're at would be a pretty nice move. So Hood looking pretty good here. Robinhood Markets, shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q2 financial results. The binary event is out of the way with some good news. The RSI is at the lower end of the channel. Sure looks like we're going higher here. What say you, 13?
I think 20 might be a pretty significant resistance spot for this company. And we're not too far away from there. We're about $1.70 away. So $20, I'd be interested to see what happens. We did have the 20-day SMA crossing the 50 to the downside. So that implies that maybe that we are going to have to contend with the 20 a little bit here. The 20 may end up leading the way down with this. I'm getting ahead of myself. First things first, let's see what happens at 20. I think that's going to be a resistance spot in Hood. Okay. Really good stuff there. Okay. Just, I was actually having some fun, but apparently maybe I went a little over the top here. So just to clarify, Fairchild, someone put a quarter in where they put more than that. We did more coffee and more tea here this morning again, which is why I'm waiting for like the IV to show up, and to have it just kind of lined up to your vein.
Look, all I'm saying is that coffee in the morning is literally one of the best things ever, and I am rolling it forward here. Smoked tuna is spicy every day. So are his calls. Had one yesterday. It was an absolute banger. And real quick here, just because I just got to make sure here. Ryan loves smoked tuna pate in the morning. I love smoked tuna in our community every day, and it doesn't just have to be the morning. I'm just joking around. I can take jokes. Love the energy, Ryan. Good. It's the morning. We got to be here. We got to be ready. We got to be up. Okay. There's no way I made tuna cry, by the way. There's no way that happened. But what stocks do you folks want to take a look at? Anything else out there? I saw one of you guys mentioning that pump, that LGCL. Maybe we should take a look at that. That really wasn't on the movers list here. This was I actually can't believe this. God, I traded this in the pre-market. I was up super early this morning, and after I had that coffee, I really wanted to do something. So I actually scalped this here this morning, and I was lucky because once we broke through that high, it was right in here. Boy, we knifed. This thing has now gone red. I'm not sure if this is going to get back on here. The news was that they announced a $6 million share repurchase program here this morning. Stock's down 10% on that news. I mean, I don't know, folks. I don't know. We'll see if this gets rolling here. To me, this is probably one of the weaker names that we have on our list here today.
Yeah, and Warner Brothers Discovery is another one that reported earnings yesterday, I believe, and they are now facing lows not seen since 2008.
Okay. Real quick, LGCL was a China pump indeed. Roberto, this is something that our happy hour program has been reminding the attendees for probably the past month. It's really good of you to mention this, and we should mention it here. September, historically and seasonally, is the weakest month of the year. So, Roberto, we're seeing kind of this chop. We're seeing this market gyrations, these moves up and these moves down. And I think this is a really good point here. Seasonally, the worst month is going to start here after this month. I know we're only 8 days in, but keep that in mind. September normally not the best month for long. So we'll see what ends up happening here. Okay, you guys did not disappoint with charts. So let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to start with Google because that's the first one here in the list that I saw from Samuel. Here is Google. Let's go to a daily chart. So first of all, I'm a big fan of any of these charts that are really kind of interacting with their 200 because given the environment we find ourselves in, really need to focus as much as possible on our entries. The 200-day has been probably the most reactive of these levels on the daily chart. Shout out to our group who also looks at the weekly and the monthly chart. I want to see what the market does here today. I know we're popping here early in the morning. Let's see if we fade. A lot of these rips that we've gotten recently, like what we saw yesterday, market tried to trade up, reversed hard. I don't necessarily want to be stuck in these. I don't feel great about longing Google right here. My view on everything is that we're kind of going to retest some of these lows. So I'd be okay waiting this out until we're able to figure out what we're going to do around that 200 here. You got anything on Google that really kind of jumps out to you, 13?
Well, that 200-day estimate you mentioned has been a really good support level. We can see the last time that we tested that back in March that we just had this pretty good rally, and we rallied, let's see how much, about 46%. So I do not want to imply that that's what we're going to see next. We could start to see an unwinding, especially with that antitrust case that is now getting handed down to Google here. That could, force some changes in the company. So there's a lot of question marks here with this one. The thing going for it right now is that the RSI is pretty low. So you might get a little bit of upside, maybe even retrace up to the 20-day SMA. But I don't want to, get too many people excited about that. I think that the antitrust is a little bit of a headwind that bears with monitoring. We could end up just popping and then rolling over and retesting the 200. So that's something to watch for. But for today, just try the RSI if you want to trade this. But I think there might be some better options to trade out there than this one.
Okay. Who was that? Glenn said, look at the Goog Weekly 50 MA. I had, just to be clear here, I had GOOGL up. They both look the same. So I think we're okay looking at either chart, but I just wanted to make that clear. Here is your 50 week. Glenn, I'm with you. To me, it seems like this is the obvious next level here. Not necessarily sure we bounce from no man's land. 13, you made a great point, though, with the RSI. Maybe there is a little bit of short-term relief there. Okay. You guys gave me a whole bunch of stocks. We're going to try and do it here. VITL, Lee, we'll do that here, but I want to do SolarEdge first because I'm pretty sure that is a bigger stock here. So real quick, we'll do both of those for sure. Michael, you were asking about SEDG, and there was someone else that had a comment here on SEDG. Let me try and find it so we can make sure we answer it. Smita asking, how low can it go? Okay, so really good question here because this thing doesn't look like it's found any type of bottom. Complicating matters further, this is actually in oversold territory on its RSI, so we'd be expecting a bounce. We're also at one of these larger-ish volume shelves, but to me, this has not confirmed a bottom. One of the things that I would like to see is actually something that we kind of saw here before, right? When this really took another leg down, we had a huge volume day, a little bit of that kind of consolidation here. Maybe it came up off the bottom. I'd like to see another one of those, frankly. I'd like to see some more capitulation here, have people getting freaked out, and then we'll see. So what do you think here on SolarEdge 13?
Well, we're getting pretty close to the all-time lows in December of, or maybe this is a little earlier than that. Yeah, November of 2016. That low was in the 11s, it looks like, 1135. So, to answer the question, how low can this go? Well, it can go to zero. But I think, for a good level to watch for would be that 2016 low, because we're not too far away. We're about $7 away from that. And there doesn't appear to be any very good news to help lift this back up. So I would be looking at to the left for levels of support. And there's several on the way down. I could see one at about 16.25. There's another one at 15.75. So if you're looking for some support levels, I would just look to the left, look to where we were, last time we were down here, and to see where those, see if you can draw some support levels from the peaks of these the price action. That would be the first thing I would do. Solar is just not in favor right now. Until rates come down, it's probably going to remain out of favor.
Now 13, with what appears to be rate cuts on the horizon, is there any thought that you're giving to maybe kind of front loading the solar trade so you can get them at low prices? Or is this one of the situations where you actually want to see the rate cuts happen and see how the market takes it before actually executing that trade? What do you think here? I go back and forth on this. I'd be happy to give you my opinion. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I thought it might be a good question.
Well, I think at this point for me, if it's going to come to like renewables, I'd rather just be in ETFs.
I think that's smart.
I think that'd be the safer and frankly easier way to do this. Now, you could definitely get a much larger gain if you play this in the individual names correctly, but I haven't really paid attention to what's going on with solar. I'm not really interested in solar right now, so I don't have a whole lot of research I've done on it. And at that point, I'm just going to rely on the experts and just buy ETFs if I want that exposure.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. The other thing is when we cut rates, what's the market going to do, right? Is the market going to sell off? Are we actually going to bounce? Like, maybe it is good for this, but if the entire market is repricing itself lower, solar stocks might also be on deck for that too. So I'm not going to front load this trade. Waiting for interest rates to come in would be a good sign for solar. But to 13's main point, maybe TAN should be something that you should dip your toe in. That is going to be a solar ETF. Maybe that might be the first way to kind of start it. And when it confirms that the bottom is in, then kind of size up your trade by adding some of the individual names. Be curious to know how you folks are going to play that. Sorry, 13?
Brad had a really good comment here regarding Google.
Let's do it.
We haven't seen the fallout of this yet completely, but this is what Brad's saying here is something to definitely watch for. The antitrust suit, and there's a lot. I think there's several going on right now. I think Amazon's also dealing with one, and I want to say maybe Microsoft as well. I can't remember if that's true or not, but we're starting to see the Mag 7 get hit with these because they have a lot of assets. So they have a lot of different sectors in their company. They're going to, this might be one of this current administration's last hurrah is trying to get these bigger companies broken up, or at least get that ball rolling. So just something to think about with these really big Mag 7 names. And so how many assets they have. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's totally fine. And I really appreciate this, Brad, because while we saw that news there, I'm actually not like on top of all of the rumors and what's going on here. So really appreciate you bringing this up to the group. Keep sharing that stuff with us. The bell rang. You heard it. We're open. Let's roll. Stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. So if you need a prop firm, more dry powder, or just the ability to get over the 25K day trading threshold, check them out. They're great and they can help you. Let's see what we got rolling here today. I'm actually going to flip over to the Trade the Pool screen right now, and we're going to figure out what we can do.
All right. So I think, Hood's really dropping out of the gate here. Eli Lilly just doing nothing. Apps popping. Apps is actually going to take out the pre-market high, it looks like. They're trying to. Pre-market high I have at 228.
Ooh, look at Hood. Ooh, look at Hood. So real quickly here. So 13, you just did that with the quickness. Really quickly, here's what I'm kind of looking at on Lilly. We'll adjust this as things go. If we can break out of the top side of this range and maybe challenge 900, I think there's a possible trade there. However, if we break back down either through the VWAP or through the bottom end of the channel, and I have that at about 850, perhaps there's a day trade short on deck here. So we're going to watch Lilly. This is the plan that I'm looking at the moment. Jay Rice, kind of related to Lilly here, mentioning VKTX, saying trim and trail, I think. Let's see if this, sorry about the data feed loading a little slow here.
You know,
So,
Line Atlas, I have to kind of disagree with that, and here's why. If Trump is going to, advocate and force rate cuts, then that's going to be a much better environment for renewables. We saw that last time he was president when we had COVID, and rate cuts were almost near zero. Now we're not going to go back down to near zero, but when rates are that low, then you're going to see renewables and these really speculative names do much better.
Yeah.
To Jay Rice's point, there will be growth stocks that are going to do better in these low interest rate environments, but there are also income stocks that some older folks like to just kind of hold on to. And the ones that are paying dividends that are at a higher rate than what the interest rates are, they're going to want those for income to just kind of hang on to and rake in the dough. Now with apps here, we pushed through that 228, and we're headed towards the after hours high from yesterday, which is 244, almost there. Let me see if I can get you some other levels after that.
Jonathan saying, Ryan, your screen order is wonky. Appreciate that shout. Let me see if I can fix this here. I see exactly what you mean. So let me see what I can do to, how's that? No, not quite. Man, what happened here? That's so weird. That is so weird. I feel bad saying weird given the climate that we're in right now. Hey, T. Okay, let me see. It looks like it's just a little bit on the, there we go. There we go. How does that look, Jonathan? Did we fix it up? I think we're fixed up there. That looks pretty good. Looks pretty. Okay. Appreciate that shout, though. Appreciate that. It's the little things that count, right, Jonathan? Little things, baby. Let's go. All right.
Apps coming back in a little bit. For upside targets, after we hit that 244 that was in the after hours yesterday from the earnings, next upside targets are going to be 250, 265, and 275.
What are you guys saying no for? I asked if it was fixed. You guys said no. You were still on the main screen. Chart is small, Ryan is large. That's weird because it's not on mine. Here. Is it fixed now? I fixed it. Where's producer Alyssa? Can you confirm for me? That's so weird. StreamYard is not working. Well, whatever. Well, I try and that's worse. You had it. Then lost it. Wait. Alyssa, what's going on? Help me out here. What's going on?
What's the problem here? What's going on? The chart small?
No, like the StreamYard is displaying it differently. Look at the stream. Look at the stream, not StreamYard.
It looks okay. Let me.
Getting a mention on Costco here. It's trying to push over its 20-day SMA.
Let's go, Costco.
It has had resistance at that moving average for the past 3 days. So we're still trying to see if we can get over that. Now,
it looks fine.
We did it. We did it. No, you don't be sorry. I asked you for help. You helped me. You are a gem. We got it, folks. We got it. We fight through tech issues here every day. That's what we do. Appreciate you, Alyssa.
Yes, I go back to shadow.
Oh my God, if that messed it up because you guys will have to let me know. Alyssa, that was hilarious. I go back to shadows. Goodbye. Okay, 13. Let's get me back on track here. What's moving here?
Well, I was just looking through the chat at some of these comments. Ryan Milligan saying that market has been positively correlated to the odds of Trump winning in the election. We've been on that for a while. Appreciate you bringing that back up. So yeah, that's one of the things we've talked about previously is how this market's been pricing in a Trump presidency. Lion Atlas mentioning that Democrats subsidize renewable by giving rebates and credit to customers who going solar. Was that in place back when COVID was happening? I can absolutely see how that could be the case now with the current administration, but Trump can cut some things out, but there are others that require an act of Congress that he can't do.
Lilly here breaking beneath the bottom. Let's see if it retests this 850. If it does, that's possible short entry here on a pullback post Lilly earnings. This is what I'm watching so far. What else are you guys on here?
When
looking around. Yeah,
not doing anything. That one's lower out of the open. Apps still trying to break above that level I had mentioned previously. You were talking about Eli Lilly. That's coming down. It's now beneath VWAP. Let's see if it can get some support around 815. See what happens then.
I actually, here we go. So I want to see this. Here, I'm going to start. I'm going to try sizing into this short. Doing it slow here. We'll see. Apps, yeah, I'm kind of watching that. What was the other stock that you folks were? Sorry, I'm looking around here to see what's. Beyond Meat, is that moving here? BYND. Yeah, that reported earnings popped, completely retraced, and now going back towards the highs. BYND wild here so far this morning.
Big short squeeze. Big short squeeze. 37 almost 38% of the float shorted, 12 and a half days to cover.
Also, really appreciate you guys. Yeah, if I wouldn't want to be looking at my camera as the main screen either, so totally get that. Thanks everyone for helping fix that.
Hold up charts.
The charts are so much more important.
T-Mobile getting into the fiber op biz. Are they picking up a company, or are they just they have something internal already that they're announcing? Let's take a look. T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T. I'd like those telecoms, especially the Verizon and AT&T ones. They're a lot of people will call them value traps. They can be.
Sorry, I just totally interrupted you.
No worries, go ahead.
It's Daddy Backstrap's comment made me laugh, which is why I couldn't control myself here. I think most people deal with minor tech issues like that every day at work. Yes, most people aren't presenting to a group of 1,000+ people, though. But your point's well made. When AI software are able to listen to your issue and fix it, is that when we have made it? How long? Decade. I don't know if we've made it at that point. I don't know. I'd rather have Alyssa fix it, to be honest. I'd rather have my emotional support human actually help me instead of some AI robot, number one. Number two, I don't feel confident in AI fixing things. I would imagine maybe it fixes one thing and screws something else up. Who knows? I'm going to keep humans in the loop. I learned that from Terminator.
Yeah, with Lumen, that's got a really large float. And one of the things that we were looking at yesterday with Lumen was how it really didn't do a whole lot. It kind of went sideways out after the open. It's this stock really only has the big moves outside of the regular session. Now, today, unfortunately, we are seeing a lot of selling, but that was probably to be expected with how big we got this move has been.
13. I just want to give you your call on the float here for Lumen. That was really, really well timed. I know, yesterday we really didn't move a whole lot. I think you were ahead of the curve on that one, and I appreciate you mentioning that to the group.
Oh, no problem. I don't think I was completely correct. I mean, because we saw a lot of price action in the after hours where the float really didn't matter. And this could just be setting up to go higher in the after hours. So that's another thing to consider. But I'm not trading this one.
Oh, so yeah, I'm with you there. By the way, you know what? I'm actually going to do this. We are going to start here scaling in. We're going to do this small. So I'm going to start scaling into a Lilly short here, small. Okay, we'll see how this goes here. But we're going to start scaling into this. First buy here, short right here. Want to see this break this 850 and move down. If we trade back up to the VWAP at 859, we'll add to this short. Okay. Sound. That was the other one. And actually, if Bernardo, if you're out there, Sound looking amazing. Did they have earnings today?
Tomorrow. I'm sorry, today, after hours.
After hours here today. Okay, so earnings coming here after hours. Remember, this is another one of those companies that had a influx of cash from NVIDIA, some type of deal there. So maybe that actually ends up driving them here. We'll see. I know we have a couple of people that are on this or looking at this as kind of a bullish thing. So we shall see here on SOUN.
Do you remember? Yeah, we talked about this yesterday because they have quite a large cash position. We thought that was interesting, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, the news today is that they are acquiring a company called Enterprise Conversation. Amelia
Acquires Amelia
for $80 million, and they've got like over $200 million in cash. So that's why they've got cash, because they're looking to pick up more companies. This is kind of interesting.
Do you know what this company does? Do we know what Amelia does and how this might add to the bottom line?
Well, see what this does. What it's saying here is that it's helping to position this company as a leader of voice and conversational AI across multiple industries, including retail. So the whole point you were just making about having AI come and help you when you're distressed with your technical problems. This is what that company is headed towards. It's trying to do. Because it's a leading provider of voice and conversational AI. I don't really think I need to say anything else. That's exactly what we were just talking about here. So, I don't really. I have a hard time with this one because it was a junk name that we've traded before, but it's really, really hard to ignore it because it's got a lot of really interesting things going for it, and it also has some pretty significant buy ratings. Some other institutions are seeing kind of the same thing that we might be, but I'll just leave it there.
Apps looking like this is trying to break and go higher here. Yeah, I don't know which way to go on SOUN, to be quite honest with you. I don't know if that's going to be a good buy. I hope everyone that's long through earnings ends up banking, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
AI taking orders at McDonald's, basically. I don't know if that's good either. Thankfully, I don't go to McDonald's.
Part of it. That's definitely a segment of where they're looking, and it's not just going to be for orders like that. They're trying to expand across retail, financial, healthcare, automotive, probably even technical support.
Real quick here, ADTX curling up. We'll see if that goes. Lilly moving against me, so it looks like this is bouncing here. This has me wondering, is this just kind of a profit-taking little dip there, or are we actually going to move back down? I want to wait this out. I really do. I don't want to just, I know we're down here. I don't necessarily want to take a loss. We'll see if Trade the Pool automatically closes the position as it moves against me. But I want to see this come back in. I want to see this get rejected at the VWAP and maybe fall a little bit more. We'll see if we end up getting that. If we do, then we'll talk about an ad. Otherwise, we'll keep it small here. OGen getting mentioned here by the group. OGEN. We've traded this one before. That is ripping here. Is there news on this that we're missing? Let me pull it up.
Also, it was mentioned ADTX is also up 9% right now. I believe this is off relative volume.
Real quick here on OGen, we had an exclusive here this morning. Shout out to our news desk team. Zoltan, if you're out there, big shouts, bro. Orogenics shares are trading higher after the company announced its concussion drug, OMP002, has cleared FDA-required cardiotoxicity testing, and a phase 2 study is being planned. Now, that phase 2 study is going to cost money, right? So let's check and see what we got here. They only have $2 million in cash as of the last quarter. 13, what do you think? They got a raise to get that done?
Well, it's what's their burn rate is, around 2 to 3 a quarter. Probably do. The news is kind of interesting to me because they're talking. What is this concussion drug?
Yeah, see, I don't know. Does anyone know?
How does that work? That's interesting to me because I could see the NFL jumping all over something.
I was going to say that was my first thought was the NFL. That would make a lot of sense there.
I need to know more about what that drug is doing, and they're also planning for phase 2, so they're still a ways away from this actually being a thing. So phase 2 is going to, when they announce that or when they announce results from that, that's going to also cause us to pop if it's good.
Apps. Still going. Good mention, Nicholas. We are right here at the after hours highs. We are definitely finding some resistance here. 244, 245 your high print. Morning, Easy Mike. It's great to see you again, dude. Welcome back. Welcome back. Junior, you're mentioning Lumen here. Let's take a look here at Lumen. By the way, that Lilly. Oh, look at Lumen selling off here.
Yeah.
I think we dip. Let's wait for this one to settle here on Lumen.
Yeah, too much supply. Can't really push it up.
Easy Mike, dude. How am I doing here today,
Good
bro?
morning.
I am above ground and breathing, so I am doing great. Doing absolutely great here today. How are you?
Normally related to brain energy metabolism during low oxygen delivery. Interesting. Yeah, that's we were just talking about what Tom Herbert was saying with regard to that drug we were just mentioning.
Yeah, no, awesome.
I'm gonna write that down. That's interesting.
NVO, Roberto, you're talking about the Lilly move. It's still kind of hanging out here. It's either going to go above its VWAP and run, or it's going to break down from the 850, and we'll wait it out and we'll see what happens. The NVO chart looks the same, to be honest. So we'll see what happens here. We're patient. We got our plan. Our plan's either going to work or it's not. We'll be protected either way. Hood, how's Hood doing here out of the gate? Man, I feel good. What is it? Oh, I know what it is. I figured it out. Who? Easy Mike, you're asking how I'm doing. I'm doing great. We've got breaking news here from Adam Schefter that's saying that Sean McDermott says that the first team offense is going to play on Saturday. That's the Bills, who play the Bears, which means this Saturday we're going to see Caleb Williams versus Josh Allen, and that's got me feeling all types of good here this morning. Sorry, had to throw that in there, 13. Had to.
That's okay. When the market's done being bearish, so will your Bears.
Oh, we got fighting words coming out early, folks. Look out.
Man.
We're going to have so much fun this year with that fantasy. Great. And oh my God, 13. I can't even wait. I cannot even wait. Okay. CRNC, Smoke Tuna, you were moving on a good earnings report. What does this company do? Let me look that up here real quick. CRNC. Cerence. So this company here's United States-based software company involved in developing mobility-based solutions for drivers and their cars. Does this play into the automated driving thesis for Tesla and some of those other companies? The customers include all automobile original equipment manufacturers or OEMs and their tier 1 suppliers. Okay.
That's a big EPS beat.
Sure is. 19 cents versus the 5-cent estimate. Yeah, giddy up.
27.6% of the float shorted with 7.5 days to cover.
And only 29 million in the float.
She be squeezing.
By the way, apps is taken off. Okay, you guys are watching apps. You guys are all over this here. Oh, I guess it's not AAPS, it's APPS, of course. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, ripping here. This didn't get halted, did it? No.
Not halted yet.
Not yet.
265, next upside target, 275 after that. Let me start finding more levels because it looks like we're going to be hitting.
While you do that, 13, we're going to celebrate our community. Shaka just out here getting a chunk early, getting out. That's what we like to see. Quick, reset up, look for another one. Great job, Shaka. Great job. Oops.
It'd be really crazy if this went to 390.
If apps did?
Mm-hmm. That's a level I'm looking at. 330 and 390. I'm gonna just say those are probably next. Maybe we run
VSAT, Viasat, absolutely ripping here. Got apps continuing to go 260 now on that. Viasat. Look at this move on Viasat. 49% here. Earnings last night. Man, oh man. Beat on the top and bottom line.
And
earns buy rating with promising financial outlook and strategic advantages. Oh my God. Visa Who is in this one? This is a big winner here.
15.3% of the float shorted, 9.2 days to cover. We are just getting short squeeze city here.
So it's the squeeze city. I like it, 13. I like it. Man, oh man. Sorry, I was reading on my on the other page there. Reading on the other page. Lumen possibly turning. Let's take a look here. Looks like maybe it's putting in a bottom there. We'll see. NVIDIA, what's going on with NVIDIA? That's rolling over here. Looks like that market's coming back in after that data print here this morning. No, REL? I typed in SPY. How'd you give me RELL? Here we go on the SPY. So we did lose the VWAP there on the SPY. It's coming back in. We'll see where that settles. Jay saying NVIDIA, no power, all pop sold. So that to me is that's notable here. And I would imagine that SMCI is probably even weaker. Just a guess. Just a guess. SMCI, this looks like this wants to break and go lower. This looks like this wants to break. Whoever was buying puts ahead of earnings, you guys just absolutely murdering right now.
Yeah, that gentleman JT that's in our happy hour. God, he must be absolutely doing backflips.
He didn't come. I wonder if he took a vacation because he didn't come back yesterday. I thought for sure victory lap coming here, but nope. And guess what, folks? Trade plan working out. Eli Lilly continuing to break lower. Let's see where we can go here on this. We want to do a buy to cover. Let me get the actual level here. We are breaking down. That's what I wanted to see. That's what I want to see.
Roberto, I think that you could be right. I want to see it take out 3 and those other levels I mentioned first. But if it does, then I think that you're correct. We could see 5. And then Isaac Van Note asking, what do you guys think about Vistra? Could you give us a ticker? I'll try to see if I can find it without it.
Was that VST or am I being stupid?
VST.
I'm trying to remember. I don't know if that actually is. All right, let's see if we can buy the cover here.
They had earnings released this morning. Sales miss, EPS beat. What does this company do? Renewable. Give me a second. I'll give you some thoughts on this. Let me take a look real quick.
Right, we want to do this.
Looks like Apps is still trying to get through that 270.
Maybe just. Sorry, go ahead.
Vistra doesn't look bad. I don't know enough about this company to really give you a huge opinion on it.
Jay Harris.
So this is
what this means. You know what this means, Jay Harris. This means we got the sound effects for making money. Let's go.
It's interesting that it's renewable electricity producers when they're talking about natural gas and nuclear and coal. I mean, it could be good. It's got a lot of institutional
investors. Reverse that.
Yeah, exactly.
Real quick here. Smoke Tuna saying taking some OGen at 117. Tuna, the reason I'm calling this out is because you have been so adamant about buying weakness and you are leading by example right now. I hope this trade works. I hope not only does this come back to the highs, but it actually breaks and goes higher than that. That would be absolutely awesome. Good stuff here. OGen looks like Tuna's buying 117 here. I actually think this spot is pretty good. I think it could maybe go down to 112 here, but looks like we're bouncing already. Tuna, you're onto something, dude.
So for VST, I think that the 20-day SMA is probably going to be the big resistance factor here. It's already done that once, did it back on July 31st and August 1st. The first thing I'm going to want to see if I'm going to want to own this is recapturing the 20-day SMA. I personally would like this better down towards the 200, maybe even lower than that. It does have a pretty large float, so I don't know about significant price action. Maybe you get more of that in the after hours or pre-market, but for me, I would prefer to own this at a lower price.
Okay.
Just watch that 20. If you're looking for upside, that 20-day SMA needs to get some closes over it.
Right. Lily waterfalling. Gurpreet, that's what we were waiting for, dude. And this just goes to show you this. We took a We took a really small position. If I have to grade myself here, I actually give myself a C because the plan here was on a re-break of this after the test was to add, and I missed it because I wasn't paying attention. So gotta be honest here. Could have done better here. We would really be in some good profit. Next time we actually take a dip here, we'll probably close this and wait for another setup. I would imagine that Eli Lilly is going to be in play here today a number of times. So we'll probably close this up here. Maybe one more move down. Let's see.
Hey, that's a Shaka. That's a Bob Ross trade. I say Bob Ross because it's a happy little mistake.
What happened?
He said he didn't sell his whole stake.
And it went higher. So
yeah.
So basically what you're saying is that you made more money, huh? Okay,
yeah.
We're going to boom, we're closing the Eli Lilly right here. 1 for 1. Nice. Great trade on the short. This worked out right to the plan. This is my favorite type of trade, right? Got a plan early on. Stick to your plan. Boom, boom, boom. Maybe we do get some more. We'll be trading Lilly here today. Great little short setup. Awesome. Okay. Shant, you've asked for Clove 16 times. So let's go ahead and do it. It was the 16th time that really got me. All jokes aside here, Clove coming up off the bottom. This actually looks pretty good above the VWAP. The only thing here that I don't necessarily like about this particular move, we are absolutely seeing compressing volume. So I'd wait this one out there. Until we start to see this volume kind of ramp. I wouldn't be shocked if this comes back into the view. We're only talking about 4 cents right here, but I don't know if trying to buy this here for our bigger curl is the right move, given what the volume is telling us. Oh, we got the 836 target on Lilly too. Sweet. Just goes to show you, folks, you don't need big positions in some of these big stocks. It was really easy to trade too because I wasn't over levered there. Jay Rice saying VKTX trim sum 54.30, like to nibble between 49 and 51. Jay, awesome. Giving you the levels there and the sell price that he's at. By the way, VKTX, that 200-day down here at 45. See if you get an opportunity to load up there. You're welcome, Shant. You are welcome. Thanks for joining us here. Alyssa 16 times. Look, that's how we do it. That's how we do it. And the White Sox have fired their manager. Sweet. Nobody cares about the White Sox. I don't really see anything else crazy on FinTwit.
Apps went to 275, and that's where it currently has found resistance, coming back in a little bit.
I keep doing that.
That was the initially the top end of the price target, or the targets, upside targets I was looking for. If this holds, then we can maybe consolidate a little bit and just keep above like the 250s. Probably could end up seeing 3. I don't think that's unreasonable.
No, I don't either. And this is really showing. So here, we were just talking about the volume kind of drying up on the last stock. Look at the difference here. I mean, it's a 3-minute chart, but look at the difference here. This volume is ramped. And even on the backside of the move, we're still getting respectable volume sticks. And lo and behold, the stock is flagging right here. It's not breaking down. It's not knifing to and through the VWAP. This is good action here. This is what we want to see.
Yep.
This is what we want to see. Anna saying, Hood, what are the technical projections? Oof, I overslept. We actually did take a look here at Hood. Technical levels for me, at least so far, is going to be this. As long as we stay above this 200-day, there's probably some strength in here. But if we really kind of give that up, I'd be wanting to wait it out until we can settle. We did look like we filled the gap already. It's a really kind of a small gap up to this almost 18 level. There's another one here between 19 and 20. So if we can actually clear out that candle, maybe we go a little bit higher. Unsure if we do that here today. The big thing for me on Hood is if we take out that 2180, we're likely going to roll higher here and maybe test some of those highs. By the way, Eli Lilly looks like that waterfall down that we first talked about might be temporarily alleviating as we're holding in here 835, 836. So it looks like my sell was just 2 points higher, almost nailed the bottom here, but nonetheless, the plan worked. Really good stuff. You're welcome, Anna. Hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah. To me, it looks like Eli Lilly's probably going to end up going lower.
Yeah, me too. I wouldn't say, I don't think it's going to go just in one move, right? So if it comes in and then it trades up a little bit and then it comes back down, all of that would be fine. And if we see that pattern, we might actually be able to trade that pattern. By the way, Sava here, I believe they reported earnings here. This is moving over to the lows here. I know this is kind of a battleground stock. Yes, they did release earnings this morning. They also have their conference call. That call is over. Sava lower.
If they get support from the 500-day SMA, which is at about 224.68, I think there is a good chance this might bounce. The setup here, the setup here on this daily pattern.
On Sava, sorry, I got distracted.
Sava, yeah, this daily pattern implies that if that area holds support, then it could go higher. This is an interesting level of support. Even when you look left and see how the price action has been all year, this 500-day SMA has pretty much suppressed the price from breaking out. Now we've broken out, so that moving average has become support now. So I'd be interested to see if we get that support just under 25, around that level I said, which is 24.68. We get that, we could see this turn around. But we'll see. That's something to watch for in Sava.
I love the breakdown there on Sava. I did roll over here to Ogen. Smoke tuna, you can't win them all. Still, though, we're still going to be watching for those bottom calls. You've been absolutely on fire. Apps here, that 259 pivot area was good. It broke that 259, 260. Clearly a spot here on apps. Also, don't think this is done, by the way. Volume telling us that this is likely not done, by the way. Eli Lilly, here we go. So this did kind of bottom at that 835, 836. We're actually seeing the volume kind of curl back up here. Oh, man, it feels good. Feels good for a plan to actually work out correctly out of the open. Soundhound popping to the highs here, 458.
468 was the high from yesterday. So that's going to be a level to watch for. We break out of that, then I'd be looking at 482. We can go at 480 if you want, but 480, 482 would be after we get a breakout of 468.
Okay. Let's see if sound goes higher here. I do want to check on Upstart, by the way, UPST. Who traded this yesterday? Because when we were talking about this on the show, someone brought this up. Someone was on this and I wasn't. And we actually took a look at this right in here after it had dipped, reclaimed the VWAP. Actually took another leg. This was a long side scalper's dream yesterday, at least on this run up. I feel like it was hard to lose. Volume was really good here. Who traded Upstart yesterday? Doesn't look like we're getting the same type of action. Well, maybe we are. Maybe we are on Upstart. I did a lot of Upstart. Robert. Yes.
Nice.
Yes. You guys are getting me fired up. You guys are getting me fired up.
Motion asking about Ford. This one found, well, it bounced off the bottom that it made in November last year. It's trying to trade up. I don't particularly like this this formation that it's putting in, and I think this may end up going lower. I think 750 is going to get tested at some point here.
I think with Ford here, the first spot for me, let's call them mile markers, no pun intended with this being a car company. The first spot that I want to see here, let's get above 11. 11 has proved to be an important level in the past. Let's get above 11, and then we can start talking about some of these moving averages here on Ford. Here's the thing on Ford. I'm in no rush on this one. Like, this doesn't feel like something that I have to do quickly in order to make that. But real quickly, I know you guys are mentioning this. Palantir having a good morning here, a dip beneath the VWAP, a reclaim of the VWAP, a push to highs. Palantir looks pretty strong here today. However, just keep in mind, we are actually trading with the market. So Qs, Dow, SPY up across the board. How's the IWM doing? IWM also higher. So the entire market higher here. Looks like Palantir is trading along with that. Good formation here on Palantir, though. And I've got the 20-day moving average at 27.26, which we are currently above. So would love to see a close over that.
Yeah, if it continues to push up, I'd still be looking at 29.50 as a resistance level. That's the area I had marked off when we were topping out in July. I still think that that's going to be a particular point of interest for shorts if we get back up there.
Amanda saying, man, Costco is the Marsha Brady of stocks. Great move today. Marsha. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I like the move on cost. This is my favorite brick and mortar store. We are long Costco here. Boy, sure seems like adding on weakness is the way to go.
Didn't she get hit real hard in the nose? Wasn't that like a whole episode?
Costco or Marsha Brady?
Marsha. Marsha. So Costco might get hit in the nose one day if we're going to compare it to Marsha. Cyber looking nuts. I don't like the way that sounded when I said it out loud.
Sometimes I have those too, and I'm just like, I wish I could take that back. Control Z. Nope. You know, CYBR here though.
Control Z.
Look, man, that's just how it goes. I grew up with computers and I live in Excel spreadsheets. Real quickly here, CYBR. If we can get a curl and a move here through 270 or 269, nice. We'll see if we can actually go higher here. CYBR. I'm still really skeptical of a lot of the cybersecurity stocks. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I still think that CrowdStrike might end up being a really good buy down here. I don't even know if it's started to recover yet.
If Costco gets hit in the nose, I won't be retiring for another 80 years. Well, let's hopefully it doesn't get hit in the nose then. Donut having a good day. Krispy Kremes is the last stock that I need to be looking at in the morning because it just makes me want the heart attack rings. And I'm really trying to stay away from those. This actually is, Tuna, though, all jokes aside, this is a pretty great chart. As long as we stay here above this VWAP, maybe we can re-challenge those highs, get an intraday trade there. Fairchild, people still retire. Yes, people that aren't involved in financial markets retire, but the rest of us, degens, we just work till the day we die. Yes, correct. And I mean that endearingly, by the way. Consider myself part of that cohort.
Apps looking like it's going to try and take out 280 here. Just needs to continue with this this volume.
This actually building here. Let's see if we can pop above that 279 there. Some size there at 279, by the way.
Mm-hmm. That's the high that is put in intraday. So that's going to be the level to bust out. We just need to see a big old amount of sell order or buy orders come in and chip away at all that. Got about what is this? Close to 100,000, maybe 75 to 100,000 shares in the way of 3.
Smoke Tuna says, don't like morning trading today. Folks, I want to point out how disciplined of an attitude this is. This is someone who, one of our more active traders every day, and when the setups just aren't there, okay, saying, you know what? I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause. I believe you actually took a small loss on one here. So to me, it seems like you're showing rule number 1 of protect your capital extremely well here today, Tuna. Still, let us know if you see anything moving, though. So Matt, good morning, dude. It's great to see you. Why tentative on cybersecurity stocks? This is a really good question. Couple of reasons. Number 1, we just saw what happened with Crowd, right? So we've got some recency bias of a really bad problem absolutely destroying one of the quality names. Imagine if you had a less quality name. But the other kind of overarching thing with cybersecurity is that, and we've had some of our programmers in here kind of confirm this, you're always playing catch up, right? Like the hackers, the criminals, the people that are doing nefarious stuff, they always seem to be one step ahead. We've talked about this in happy hour too. You might have an amazing patch. Your company might be going gangbusters. And then one morning, some hacker figures out how to get around it and you are completely out of favor. Life changes quickly in this industry, and that can really affect stock prices. One of the things that I like to do is I like to take some of these smaller companies that look like they have a chance of really growing. Those companies actually more susceptible to having big time reversals in cybersecurity. So that's my thought there. Not saying they can't work. PanW is one of my favorite stocks. It's a cybersecurity stock. It's my biggest trade of the year was the PanW swing that I did earlier this year. So I'm just kind of giving you the overarching thought there. Good question, though.
Yeah, IT and cybersecurity seems to be quite a thankless job these days. You know, they'll have management come around. Hey, you know, there's nothing going on. It's wrong. Why do we pay you guys? And as soon as something happens, hey, how come you didn't take care of this? Why do we pay you guys? It's a thankless job. All right, here we go with apps. Looking to see if we can break 279. It's starting to push up a little bit here. Need a little bit more volume in this to get through that, but it's looking interesting here. Yeah, crowd did. I agree, Jay Rice. Crowd did look like an opportunity, and I think it may continue to move up here. One thing I want to see is that is a break over 240. That's the big level right now. It needs to get back over. Tried it once yesterday, got rejected. I think we'll get another test of that either this week or next week.
Fortinet, by the way, they had earnings yesterday. So Jay, I think also mentioned FTNT in that post there. They had earnings yesterday. Real good move. They had a move up on the earnings in the after hours and then another leg up in the regular session. Today, they're actually holding that. See if this can go higher here. This is a huge move for Fortinet. Not willing to short this here, despite what I was just saying, but not in it, unfortunately. Play bug or hack if you don't want individual exposure. Really good. Those are ETFs that Jay's given you. Really good stuff there.
Thoughts on FedEx? Hurricane messing up deliveries. I imagine that's gonna happen. We probably got that a little bit here in Texas as well when Beryl came running through. Let's take a look at FDX.
FDX, EBS breaking. Let me go to EBS here real quick. Then I'll go to FDX for 13's breakdown. Here is EBS. This is a good mention here. Volume ramped too.
I think FDX goes lower. Don't like the way that chart looks.
Also, isn't this a economy barometer? And aren't we kind of hypothesizing that the economy is going to continue to get weak, or the consumer at least is going to continue to get weak?
Yes, sir, Bob Dixie.
Whoa, that's a Texas line right there.
But in this FedEx chart here, in this FedEx chart here, when we popped on June 26th, we started to create a head and shoulders formation. Now we are getting the resolution of that. So I think it will lose its 50-day SMA and go back down to the 200-day SMA at some point. Probably even go a little bit underneath it down to around 255. I think this gap's going to fill, to be honest. I think the gap will fill to the downside on FedEx. Don't have a time horizon on that. You might see some bounces on the way down, but I think that is where the price is going to be headed in that company. It sounds like, okay, so you're going to the beach. What kind of stocks can we find for that? He's going to the beach. He's spending money at the beach, folks.
Who is? What happened? What did I miss?
Smoked tuna. He's going to go to the beach.
Hey, look.
Surfboard companies.
Enjoy. You've earned a beach day. I'll say that. You've earned a beach day, tuna. We hope to see you tomorrow, though. Just saying.
Wow.
Which comment? Never felt so young after hearing that. I'm wondering which comment you're referring to. I will take it. If I'm making you feel young out there, giddy up.
Skincare products. There you go. So that would be what is that one? Hold on a second.
Hims? No.
There's a particular dermatological company that I'm thinking of. Starts with an E.
Estee Lauder?
No. That's more
Elf, I think, is makeup.
Yeah.
ELF.
Yeah, it's like EDG or something like that.
Okay.
I'm trying to get it for you guys, but I was kind of watching that one at 1.2 in the past.
I'm going to roll through my scanner here real quick and see if I see anything interesting. I'll bring it up here on screen if that is the case. Someone asked about Boeing earlier, and I wanted to get to that. I'm not gonna leave you hanging here. Let me see who that was and shout you out here real fast. I meant to do this earlier. It was Daddy Backstrap, the one and only Daddy Backstrap. How did I forget that? Have y'all love it? Have y'all talked about Boeing with astronauts stuck up there till 2025?
Oh yeah. You want to go ahead and read the whole thing I put into the happy hour chat?
Sure. Here. You know what we'll do? Just in case there are some that have their volume. Do you want me to just read this verbatim?
if you want,
because it might be difficult for people to see on screen. It won't take me long here. Boeing, and actually we got a Boeing chart up here as well. This is a 1-minute chart, so we can watch the intraday action. Boeing, I mentioned this last week, so yes, we have been talking about this. But we're now starting to see the headlines that NASA is making plans with SpaceX to bring back the 2 astronauts that are currently stranded on the International Space Station because of Boeing's Starliner issues with helium leaks. By the way, thank God they have a place to kind of let them stay safe instead of putting them on a ship that has a helium leak, which that's no good. I cannot understate how terrible of a situation this is for Boeing. Let me repeat that. I cannot understate how terrible of a situation this is for Boeing. They have been working with NASA on the Starliner program since 2010. It's cost Boeing over $1.6 billion, and NASA has put up $6.7 billion for this new ISS transport vehicle that just had its first flight, resulting in 2 stranded human astronauts. The stakes are incredibly high. If NASA goes through with the SpaceX to safely return the astronauts, there's no telling if the Starliner contract will continue, which would be a huge hit for Boeing. Good point there. Will ever get future spaceflight contracts with NASA again after this? Now NASA takes Boeing's word on the Starliner being safe.
If they do that.
Now, excuse me, thank you. Now, if NASA takes Boeing's word on the Starliner being safe enough to return the astronauts home, and it explodes in the return process, there's no telling how horrible the fallout could be. The company is an insolvent, money-losing machine. Only the U.S. government stands between its existence and bankruptcy. Wow. Tell us how you really feel, 13.
I would love to see that company get its shit together. Sorry for the foul language,
right.
but we fly on their aircraft, folks.
All the time.
All the time. Get your stuff together.
Christopher, succinctly put, someone's getting fired today. That definitely seems like, I'm sorry for even laughing. We're talking about human beings being stuck in space. I really should not be laughing though. Really shouldn't be.
Yeah, and it's already horrible that we've lost so many human lives over the years with their aircraft crashing. Now their chances of taking humans to space is really on in high questionable mode, because they're in their first flight. The first Starliner flight strands 2 astronauts until next year. That's not great.
By the way, real quick here, Lilly, that little I'll actually just show you here before we talk about Uber. Lilly, that little consolidation area looks like that gave way. So I'm not going to chase this move down because I really don't want to give gains back, but maybe another short lining up here. We'll see. I would imagine if this gets above this range, that's your cue that short is bunk. So I would get out of there. Let's take a look here at Uber, though, because this one's pretty interesting. We've now had, I think this is, let me get a bigger chart here. I believe this is the first close above that 200-day. Ashan, I know you were asking about this one. Let me get it for you here. Let's get the big chart out. Let's get the big guns out here. Yes, indeed. Today, if we close here, this will be the first close above the 200-day. You can see it's currently finding resistance at the 50-day. I would like to see, maybe if it doesn't like really rip here, I'd like to see 1 and then maybe some strength tomorrow. I think Uber actually might be a swing long here if it can hold that, Ashan.
Amanda Gibbons is hilarious.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. What'd she say now? The way 13 destroyed Boeing in that post makes me really glad I'm not a Bears fan going into this season. Yikes.
You ready, Ryan? Are you ready? Yes, he is.
I'm here to have some fun. Are you ready? We just need I just need to do like movie theater announcer voice for the entire football season. That's what needs to happen there. Amanda out here taking shots. So Amanda, if you're not a Lions fan, who are you a fan of? Are you a fan of the Packers too? Are you on the dark side with 13 or what?
Embrace the dark side. We have force choking. So that's not true. So on SoundHound, that actually is broken out over 470, pulling back right now. If this, let's see, it's going to have to hold. Looks like it's going to have to hold this area here if it wants to go higher. I think 5 could be on deck if it does hold, but we'll have to see if that happens.
For which one? Which talk? Sorry, I had to Uber up.
SoundHound.
Sound.
Yeah. It's got a big old sell order in the way at 482. Gets through that, we probably will likely see 5. Apps just
Oh, look at
consolidating.
Beyond Meat. It actually tried to take another leg up off that initial pop here this morning. Ticker BYND.
Hey, and Anna's a Lions fan, so we're getting the whole division.
Oh, Amanda is a Packer fan, only 90 minutes from Lambeau. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I am a Bears fan, true and true, but I have a soft spot in my heart for the Lions. Go, Anna. Go, Anna. Go, Black Mage. And go everyone else in Detroit. And Jack asking, how do you join the happy hour? And Jack, you need to be a subscriber of Benzinga Pro. So the first step is to call a man named James Santangelo and get hooked up with a subscription of a varying length or level, and then you will be able to join the happy hour. Let me know. In fact, let me just go get James's. James might be here because he hangs out with us, but I'm going to do the work for him, and I'm going to get you his contact information.
Starting to see a little. Oh, here we go with Soundhound. We're going to push over 473 here. Certainly trying.
Boom.
Apps. Yeah, apps looks like it's trying to roll over. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's my fault, 13. I was trying to interrupt you there. Anyone that is interested in Benzinga Pro happy hour or anything in between, there's James's direct contact info. Just reach out. He slings deals like it's his job.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's right. Voodoo, just, I absolutely love the team effort here. In addition to the happy hour, in addition to the newswire, in addition to the scanner, you also get access to Anne-Marie's trade. So I know we do a show here where Anne-Marie gives out trades. She does that all the time in Pro, also has update videos and answers questions. And because we don't have a 30-minute timetable that we have to fit everything in, she's able to get to more of those. You folks should definitely check it out. Voodoo, really appreciate the shout here. Wait, isn't that his job? Robert, yeah, dude, you're ruining the joke, bro. You're ruining the joke, bro. But yes, it is. I'm just kidding.
Soundhound popped and went up to 478, still trying to move up. If it starts putting in these upper shadows like this previous 5-minute candle, that might be a signal that it's beginning to roll over. So be careful with this one. It made another good move that we were looking for, but it's not the move I was hoping for, taking it to 5. Might still get it, but it's starting to look a little bit weak. App's going to roll over, it looks like. And what else? Looks like Robinhood might have found a bottom. Went as low as 1668, traded back up, and then leaked a little bit back down to that level, and it is getting another pop. So and the MACD looks like it's starting to curl a little bit. Hood may have found a bottom. I don't want to say it did, but just keep it on your radar if this is what you're trading. Might be turning around.
We have a opportunity here. Oh, by the way, look at here before we do this. Let's take a look at Lilly and take a look at how good that first trade was and how sticking to the plan literally allowed this all to happen. It allowed the entry to be good, it allowed the exit to be good, and it allowed us to miss some of this back and forth that makes trading more difficult. Can't be happy enough when we get that. Okay, we do have a question here. It's lesson time. Brittany asking, what are upper shadows? So 13, you had just mentioned that. Let me get the big chart out so we can really kind of see it, and I'll let you explain it. If you don't want to, I'll be happy to, but go ahead.
Oh, it's just essentially these long wicks on the top of a candle. When you hit the candlestick chart.
Do you have a chart that shows a lot of them right now? I'm going to keep looking. I'm just wondering if they're here. We go. ADTX. If you've got a better one, shout it. But here you go, Brittany. This wick, this is what he's calling an upper shadow. You can call them wicks. You can call them shadows. You can call them whatever you want. But what he's saying is that when you see a lot of these upper ones, generally speaking, the price likes to go a little bit lower. Now, there might be some better examples of this, and I'd be happy to show that, but this is what he's talking about, these little wicks that are moving up.
Yeah, and when you start to see really long ones like that, that's an indication that there are more sellers up at that area than there are buyers.
Yeah.
and it's pushing the stock price down. So that indicates that there's weakness at those levels. And when you see multiple iterations of weakness like that,
Here we
that's
go.
a signal that you should probably consider getting out of that, because everybody's trying to sell out of that now.
Here's an excellent example to show exactly what 13 just eloquently described to you. You can see here that when apps ran into this 274, 275 level, a lot of the candles that moved above it only produced these wicks or these upper shadows. I guess maybe the shadow has to do with it being a price level, something. I don't know how the name came, but this is what he's describing. And when you have this type of thing, when you have a lot of these wicks where the buyers were just simply not strong enough to take the stock higher, the result is often a move lower. Now it moved lower and got bought back up. Let's see what happens at the end of the day here with apps. Maybe it does take this out a little bit later. A lot of this depends on the time frame that you're on, so keep that in mind. You might want to check out multiple time frames. 13, that was an excellent explanation. Well done.
Oh, thanks. And I like the conversation between Webcoin and Voodoo. That was a pretty good one. Webcoin saying upper shadows are a dental condition, and Voodoo's go, well, so we shouldn't be sinking our teeth in anything then. God, you guys are great.
We got all the jokes here. We got the jokes here. We got people that are funny. We got people that are sharp, and we got people that are patient. And let me tell you something. When you get that to be aligned, you got yourself a good old community. Here's LODE, Smoke Tuna, giving you the penny play of the day. LOD pushing up to the pre-market and intraday highs here at 27 cents. We'll see if that ends up getting taken out. We can move higher. By the way, market across the board at the highs.
Soundhound still pushing up, so we still might get that $5 tap. Doesn't look like apps is finished yet, but I don't like the way the MACD is. Yeah, so that Soundhound looks like it's going to go and try 5. When it gets rallies like this, it typically does that.
Let me ask the group. I'm going to ask you and the group 13. How do we feel about stock? Like if Soundhound continues to trade up here today, how do we feel about that trading up into the earnings report?
Oh, I wouldn't be holding it at the close.
I'd be a little nervous too, if that's what you were trying to say. If this really has a good run here today, if I was playing this and this made a huge run here today, I would at minimum peel a significant, when I say that, I mean more than 50% of the position off to make sure that those gains are booked. If they come up with something really terrible in their earnings or something that the investors don't like, you could lose not only your gains here for today, but whatever gains you were sitting on. Jay, you had brought this up earlier, and I think I moved on and did not cover it. I want to discuss this because you are making a fairly decent point here, but I want to give you something else. I want to give you something else to think about. So first of all, here Jay's mentioning several companies that are their stock looks to be performing well or having some earnings report where the stock pops on good earnings. And Jay is saying here, is the consumer dead? And the point that you're trying to illustrate here is that the consumer is not dead, right? Because you have some of these companies here that are popping on some of those earnings. I would agree with you. I don't think the consumer is dead, but I don't think there's any dispute that the consumer is tightening here. Now, what you're outlining here is really, really important. There is absolutely a divergence that we are seeing between the haves and the have-nots. So some people that still have money that they can spend, they're going to be buying things. And I wouldn't, none of the stuff that you listed here all makes sense to me. Boot Barn, Yeti, Crocs, Under Armour. I can see that stuff still being bought. A lot of that stuff, by the way, back to school stuff, especially Under Armour. So while I agree with you that the consumer is not dead, I think there's indisputable evidence that the consumer is weakening. And I think that you're still going to see a little bit of divergence because some people are hurt more than others. And I think that's kind of what you're going on here. Be happy to listen to any opinion on this.
And I'm not really putting any stock into what these price targets these analysts are coming out with anymore. I really believe at this point they're just trying to pump these stocks up so they can find a better exit.
So Those are necessities. Staying in a hotel is different. Completely agree. And I think one of the other things that you're seeing from some of those travel stocks is they're confirming exactly what you're saying, Jay. I think the data is supporting your statement here. We've seen that with airlines. We've seen that with cruise ships, the whole 9 yards. This question here, though, let's add to this. Thinking about it, by the way, you've had the comment of the day with the downgrading Celsius to Celsius, SELL-IUS. That was as crispy of a joke as it gets. Props to you and a Chewbacca. But are the good earnings the last good earnings? What thinking about it is describing here is peak earnings. And this is something that we have been discussing a lot in the happy hour. You do not want to be in stocks that are reporting peak earnings. They're not going to get bought. They're likely at a top. And thinking about it is clearly thinking about the right thing here with that.
Soundhound looked like it's about to push to 5 pretty soon here. It got up to 494. Looking pretty good here. This could go as high as 515 before I think it's going to see a significant turnaround. But maybe it happens at 5, but still seems like 5's on deck for the moment.
BYND trying to take the next leg up here, much to my dismay.
Yeah, that's the big, what James Smith and Eric are talking about. That's the real big concern that I've had for over a year now is the consumer debt. Over $1 trillion in consumer credit card debt. Buy now, pay later, getting out of control. JP Morgan not even allowing their customers to, move buy now, pay later balances to credit cards or anything like that, or pay them off with that. There's a lot of things to worry about with the how high the credit card debt is. I'd be looking at a rise in HELOCs. We're already seeing that, and the thing is that not all those HELOCs where people are taking equity out of their homes to pay off debt. They're not doing that. They're just taking it out to finance their next vacation. That could really be a big problem down the road. So I'm very concerned about consumer debt right now.
6G, great job as always, guys. Looking for the top to short it back down. Bitcoin, highest in 4 days. So 6G, I don't want to assume, because you know what happens when you assume. Are you hypothesizing that Bitcoin is at a shortable area? Really quickly, just kind of looking at an intraday chart, there is a double top that we're currently at, but it is your belief that Bitcoin maybe comes back in. I'll say this. What we just saw in the recent sell-off, we saw silver and gold be pretty firm, and we saw Bitcoin get absolutely obliterated. So if the market does kind of turn around and come back in, I wouldn't be shocked to see Bitcoin come in off these levels.
Well, Bitcoin is, let's see, this is a 5-minute chart. So they had a high earlier this morning that was at 58,500. We're trading back up to that, looking to break out. If it breaks out of that, might be able to go to 60K. And that could be a bigger short area if you are looking to short. The firm
look at Costco just rip to the highs. Look at Costco is life, folks. All right.
It's got that 50-day SMA is in the way.
On sound? No, on what?
No, on Costco.
Costco.
I think that's the level to watch for. We bust through that, then yeah, it's probably going to be a good time for Costco. I like Costco.
Kevin. I love this comment. I will shout comments out like this until the very day that I am no longer on this earth. The best thing I did was pay off my house and never went back into debt. Kevin, you probably have a really good life. You probably are a lot less stressed, because I'll tell you what, those debt and money situations, often the worst. I think that's a really smart move. Trying to do the same thing. And pro tip, by the way, even if it's only $50 to $100, folks, if you can pay towards the principal every month on your mortgage, it will make a huge difference in the long run. I mean, huge difference. You will save so much money. And
see Robert mentioning ASML. What's your plan for this? Because I'm a little concerned with its struggle reclaiming the 200-day SMA. Are you planning on holding it through there, or what's your exit strategy for ASML, Robert? I'm curious. And what are my thoughts on ZG with housing prices come down? Let me take a look at ZG.
While you're taking a look at that, just really quickly, I'm going to answer here on ASML. A lot of this has to do with the 870 line, right? That is the 200-day that the stock was rejected at 13. They were over it yesterday, but were not able to close over it. Looks like it's going to try and test that here today. So let's see how this ends up finishing up.
You know, I really wish we had Felicia here with us, because she could absolutely nail the question that was just asked about Zillow Group. She's been all over that.
Yeah.
I unfortunately don't have as much knowledge about it as she does. It's got a lot of seriously interesting headlines here with earnings that happened yesterday, with new CEO, strong guidance. I think you're going to want to take a look at the earnings call transcript for clues. That's available through Seeking Alpha, and if you can Control A and copy quick enough, you can get the whole transcript.
And real quick here, Zillow Z is the Class C shares, ZG is the Class A shares. Charts look the same. Not sure which one you trade here. Crassy, real quick. Love reading this comment. Just closed my last swing position, hopefully for a gain, boss. Ready for vacation tomorrow. Let's go. Where are you going? Have some fun. We're going to miss you, but we'll be here when you get back.
Yeah, so with Zillow, I guess the best thing I could do is kind of give you a technical assessment here, because I don't really have. I know that home prices are at risk of coming down, and I think that we've known that for some time. I don't know what side of that Zillow's on, because at some point I believe they were kind of like flippers. Is that correct, or was that Open Door? I can't remember.
What was the question? I'm sorry, I was adjusting the headset.
Zillow Group, were they more like home flippers, or is that Open Door that I'm thinking?
No, I believe that's Open Door. I believe Zillow's more of the home selling. I think, and I don't want to speak for Felicia because she is our real estate expert and I lean on her for information. But I believe, if I recall correctly, she thinks that Zillow is appealing especially if and when interest rates start printing a 5 handle. Because she's always said that 5 is the magic number, and I'm pretty sure that she likes Zillow Group as a stock there. You know what? We should follow up. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Let's follow up with her 13. Remind me if I forget later today, and let's see if we can get that for our chat here.
Yeah. So I hope. I'm sorry I couldn't give you a better answer on that one, but I think what Ryan was saying about what we our discussion in happy hour. I think that's probably going to be what we're seeing here, and it's been kind of sideways for. I mean, since 22, since it absolutely got cut in half and cut in half again. So it is a little bit more attractive valuation now. And if the housing returns and we start seeing a lot more sales, this isn't going to be the only company that's going to do well. We got Rocket Mortgage, you got the wholesale, you got Open Door, you got Redfin. There's a bunch of companies that could benefit from a return to the housing market.
Market Sniper saying Zillow helps criminals get a floor plan of your home. Yes, but do they build replicas in practice? Because if they don't, believe me, I still have the upper hand. Tactically, I have all of the angles of my house. And if you want to roll the dice, go ahead and see what happens.
Yes, Shant, that's absolutely right. I remember that part. I just couldn't remember if Zillow was the one that was flipping houses as well. And yeah, Open Door was. Thank you, Voodoo, as well. I do remember that now that you mentioned that they had to cancel that program because it was not working for them. SoundHound, 1 penny away from, half a penny away from $5. There's $5. It hit it. Ta-da! Now let's see if we can get up to $5.15, and then we can talk about the next step here. I think it's going to come if it gets to $5.15.
Whis, good morning. Look, I gotta ask, dude, how were those courses? When I went on my golf trip, I showed the pictures of the courses that you went to my buddies, and their reaction was the same. They're like, this is insane. I mean, now let me know how that went. Looked ridiculous. You guys are talking about Meta?
It seems to be among the strongest of the Mag 7 lately. So, because it hasn't broken down like the other ones. I mean, maybe Microsoft is also strong, but that kind of took I think about a $50 hit off their stock price. Meta looks like it's trying to push back up to 520. I think 520 is going to be the big resistance level in that one. Also with Meta, every time it gets above 500, insiders love to sell the stock. So, and wouldn't you know it, Zuckerberg sold more yesterday. because it went over 500. That's been his whole thing. Every time it goes over 500, he sells.
Amazon, Bezos 200, Zuck, Meta 500. Same thing.
Yep.
And look at the chart here. Let me get the big look at the chart. 13. Look what it's doing. It's literally it's holding it at that level. It's really not allowing it to break out.
Yeah,
Ryan,
so,
you're gonna make me go golfing. Tuna, I would be so happy if that especially if you really enjoyed yourself. Gerald saying Ryan standing in the hallway in boxers and a wife beater with a 35 special in hand. LOL. First of all, Gerald, dude, you don't stand in the hallway. You get up, you get out of the middle, you get against the side, or at least around the corner. I mean, come on, man.
there's the breakdown in apps. So that finally rolled over.
Jay, based on my Twitter, no one expecting a rally today. I was not. In fact, I'll admit it. I got no shame. I will totally admit this. I said on Happy Hour, 13 can verify. I said on Happy Hour that the action that we saw yesterday about the huge reversal and the closing on the lows pretty much seemed like we were going to go lower here today, and we're not. Now, that ends up not mattering because I am having such a good day that it doesn't really matter. I'll just react. I don't necessarily need to. I'll make predictions, but I'll make sure I can react. I can react to them.
This chat's so great. We're giving each other home defense tips now.
Yeah, look, dude, no one's gonna ruin our day. I'm adamant about that. No one is gonna ruin our day. Bernardo, good morning. Good morning. We were just talking about you. Actually, we were talking about SoundHound because they report earnings here, and I know that you are a SoundHound bull. So, would like you to tell the chat what your trade plan is here with Sound today. Are you peeling any of this off prior to the earnings report? Are you holding it all through earnings? Really, really nice run on some ramped volume here. Really good day for SoundHound traders.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Wes, you better tell Jay Rice before he loses it. You got to tell him where that course is, man.
Actually, it's funny when I read that because meeting Jay in person, I can actually picture how he said that. He probably said, "Where the F is that?" with a huge smile on his face. That's the kind of guy Jay is. So don't be worried about that. Don't be worried about that. North Georgia. Wiss, I got to get down there, dude. I got to get down there. I got to try that. Those courses looked insane. Insane. INDO, possible breakout here. Tuna, you're all over it. Tuna, are you calling breakouts from the beach, Tuna? Is that really what you're doing right now? Because if so, that is money in the bank.
Well, we had a gin and juice reference yesterday. Is this going to do it for you too, Ryan? Yes, even Market Sniper knows.
Snoop Dogg. Hey, look, I mean, if the shoe fits, right? If the shoe fits.
Yeah, this thing looks like it could break out and go up to 435 INDO. Maybe it goes higher, but I'd be thinking 435 is where it's going to top out. That's the daily 500-day SMA. Uh-oh. What's going on here with FMC? It went up and then it turned around and now it's going
Do we have
down.
news? Let me pull it up here and see if we have any news.
It's just probably going to give us some more opportunities to add more, though.
Yeah, but the opportunities to sell are the fun ones. I'm still watching Indo here on a potential break. Let me know if I need to change the chart here. FMC rolling over. I don't see any. No news. Here's just trading action. FMC not the highest volume trader, so.
Anyway, yeah, so have better days coming. It's going to be fine. We're having a good day.
I'm having a great day. I am having an absolutely great day here today.
That is wonderful to hear.
I just woke up on the right side of the bed. Like I woke up and I was like 5:02 in the morning when I looked at the clock and I was like, today's going to be a good one. Today is going to be a good one. Happiness is a choice, folks.
Oh man, SPY. That's really starting to look like we might be getting close to a top. Certainly feels weak up here.
It's really kind of slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm looking at a 3-minute chart here. We don't have a lot of those upper shadows to kind of tie this back to a conversation earlier, but it does certainly feel heavy. LNZA, Smoke Tuna, giving us another call here. This looks like it's coming up off the bottom. Cross through VWAP, started to pull away, starting to see the volume expand. You like to see that. You like to see it. Costco's still at the highs. That is strong. Bitcoin did kind of hold at this top area here. Let's take a look at an Amazon chart real fast. It's not really doing much. How's NVIDIA doing? And we'll do SMCI next here. Yeah, looking all right. I guess that's still kind of a decent stock to day trade if you got a really good feel for it. Here's SMCI. It looks like the breakdown here is done, at least for now.
Bernardo, do you have anything that indicates that, or is this an expectation of yours? I'm really curious if you have like a news article or something that's outlines that, because that would be an interesting combination. All right. Are we all just sitting on our hands right now? Oh, apps bounced. Cool. Looks like it's not done. I don't think quite yet. It seems like it's slowed down, but if it, I'm going to say maybe about 230. It looks like a better bounce spot to me. Now I see how that that high from yesterday after hours is trying to help support it a little bit. I think a little bit lower is going to be better.
Yeah, Wiss. I'll take a look at those when I get off here. If I start looking at them now, I probably won't talk for the rest of the show, and that's no fun. So I will take a look at them later. I appreciate you sending me that. I'm super stoked about that. Any stocks in your shopping list? 13 and Rayanne. I don't know why you spell my name incorrectly every time and put it in caps, but I love the energy that you do it with, so it's okay. Stocks that I'm looking to add on my shopping list. I want pretty much any blue chip stock, especially if it pays a dividend, that really kind of gets killed down to a support level. I want it. Trying to think of some names right off the top. I mean, Costco add on weakness. I'm pretty good with my long-term Apple position, so I probably wouldn't put that one on there. Amazon would be another one that if we really got down to a decent support level, I'd really like to add that for the long haul. I'd like to add to FMC, frankly. I don't have a ton of it. I do believe in it, pays a dividend, don't have a ton of it, would probably add to that as well. I'm trying to think what else. What else would we add to here? Bitcoin breaking out, by the way.
Nice. So Mara, CLSK. Oh, wait, how's MSTR since they did a?
Oh, that's right. We didn't even talk about that. That's my fault. I brought it up to you this morning.
Yeah. We're on it now, so it's all.
We're on it now. That's right. That's right. So go ahead.
No, you do it. Because you brought it up.
I didn't really have anything. I was just going to start talking about the chart. So go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to say, hey, MSTR, they did a split of their stock, so now their supply is heavier, and that might make trading this a little bit more difficult. So I compare this to other Bitcoin names like CLSK, Riot, and Mara, see how they're trading compared to this. Because if this is going to be more difficult to trade now that their float's larger, those other names might get more attention.
MSTR here. I think that one of the big things is that now that it's done, it's 10 for 1. I don't know how volatile this is going to be when we have volatility in Bitcoin. I mean, today we had a nice little move from 57K to 59K over the course of an hour or so. And it's 2,000 points in an hour. But I'm talking about when Bitcoin gaps 10%, that's what I want to see for MSTR. How does it react to that? Might be a little bit easier to trade with less volatility in there, but I don't know. As far as I actually want this to kind of get reset. I want to see where we're at with the recalculated 200-day moving average.
So stocks that would be on my shopping list. There's not too many, right now, because we're getting a little bit of a better move in a lot of the names that I have. But if we are going to end up with a Trump presidency, then I believe that we're going to see a lot more drilling, a lot more oil production. And for me, I'd prefer the midstreams and storage for energy. Also, I think natural gas under a Trump administration is going to do much better. We currently have export controls in place that is preventing a lot of export of natural gas. I expect those will be lifted under a new presidency with Trump. So I'm really looking at midstreams, storage, and natural gas plays, and I can provide some of those here for you if you would like to take a look at them yourself. Give me a second, I'll post it.
Options on MSTR still juiced. That doesn't surprise me there. Glenn, you like IBIT? That probably a lot easier to trade than MSTR, I would imagine. MSTR didn't come down as much as Bitcoin relative to the Bitcoin rug pull. What does that tell you, 6G? What does that mean? MSTR around 120% over NAV. That's always a rug pull. Net asset value is what he's referring to. That could happen. Last time it came to NAV was just after the ETFs.
Did that my post show up in chat? It didn't look like it did.
No, was there a link in it or something?
No, it just had a bunch of dollar signs because that's how we differentiate stock tickers.
Oh, it should.
Yeah.
That should have, though. That's interesting that it didn't. INDO moving here. Yes, we finally broke that top. Look at patience paying. Oh, okay. So we broke it, but we haven't run from it. So we'll see.
Jay Rice, that's true. Here's the thing. I'm not looking at the drillers. I'm looking at the midstreams and storage. I believe that because of the oil glut that we're going to end up having, that's going to, and we're already seeing reports that pipelines are full and storages are also filling up. So we're going to have a lot of oil on hand, and that's going to be great for midstreams. And they have contracts that extend out for a period of time. So they are pretty good in recessionary environments as well. I agree. Your energy names, they did not do well under Trump. Actually, they did pretty dang horrible. But I
wasn't energy one of the weakest sectors.
Oh,
2 of those 4 years.
We especially the year of COVID. But I think the midstreams, and I know the midstreams didn't do as well, but I think they're going to be providing opportunities if under a Trump administration. So I like midstreams, and I think that they're going to do much better than some of these drillers. And if we're going to get into a lower rate environment, that's also going to make them more attractive to income investors.
Okay. Jane, I'm sorry to hear. Tomorrow is a new day. Get at it. Get at it. Crow, good to see you this morning. VC curling up here.
Yeah, that's when oil went negative was in COVID, and it was especially in June where it was really, really bad. I remember that. But that also gave a whole huge amount of opportunities to buy. I think Energy Transfer, which is one of the ones I picked up.
Is that ET?
Yeah, that one was like down between $5 and $6, and now it's at 16. So that would have been a really, really good one to pick up then. And that's what I'm getting at with these is that yes, we could end up doing pretty bad, but that dividend, the dividend that these midstreams pay are really, really attractive, especially in low rate environments. So I like midstreams and storage and natural gas.
Tesla ripping to the highs there. Ripping to the highs there.
All right. Gosh, apps. Yeah, I think we were still talking about 230 being the bounce spot. That still looks like it could be the case. SoundHound, that didn't go any higher than 505. Came right back in. Now it's getting support near VWAP. AMLP.
Checking something here real quick.
Yeah, that one did really good ever since COVID. Holy crap, that's a really good one. This one looks like it's been on a huge run though, and that it needs to kind of come in a bit.
IDAI moving? No way.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is as manipulated as it gets, it seems. Yeah, it sure is. Sure is.
Maybe we'll get that dollar that we were looking for yesterday. Yeah, EPD is another great one. I actually am I've been in Enbridge for a very long time. That's ENB. That's the midstream that I've held on to for the longest. Doing really well in that one too. Bitcoin approaching 59,000.
Yeah, I've got it over that on the futures here. Just kind of popped it up. Things are rocking here. Things are rocking here. And I'm kind of looking at the SPY. I think we've kind of exhausted the rally here, at least so far. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that it's looking like we might be trying to turn around here. I mean, or not turn, turn around. I'm looking at the SQQQ. Remember, I told you that would be interesting to play.
Yeah, you did actually.
So this 9.99 looks like because we actually bottomed at 9.99 not that long ago. One other day, earlier this week, I believe. Okay, a little bit lower. 9.94 on what I think was Tuesday. 982 on yesterday. So we're getting down to where there's some support in SQQQ.
You know what? Do you think we have a repeat of tomorrow? The reason I ask is because we turned around right at about 11:10 yesterday, and it's currently 10:56. And so I'm wondering if we get a repeat of tomorrow, maybe now is the time to buy SQQQ. Thinking out loud here.
Could be.
Thinking out loud here. We'll check in on apps before we make our decision here on SQQQ. Would love to hear what the group thinks about that. Here is apps. Maybe we are curling tuna. This also came down to one of the consolidation areas. I think this is a really good call. Isn't that what I said? Thinking about it, a repeat of yesterday? Did I say a repeat of tomorrow?
Yes.
Did I really say that?
No, no, it's fine. I thought you had clairvoyance. I was like, holy crap, I got to talk to you more.
Oh my God. I had clairvoyance. This would be a good year for sports betting. I'll tell you that much. I did mean that thinking about it. Appreciate that. I didn't even realize what I said there. Sorry about that. No. A repeat of yesterday. Do we kind of turn over here? If so, SQQQ may be a decent buy there. He said time trap.
Time flying with Ryan.
I've read more books than I care to admit on time, so I could totally get that there.
Soundhound came down, and now it's found a little bit of support just above the VWAP. It was about 476. It looks like trying to turn around. Maybe this does end up going to 515. Volume is a little light though.
Hey, Crow, this is kind of what I was thinking. You're kind of thinking right along the thesis that I had. By the way, good morning. It's great to see you here. I've been trading SPYU, SPXS to the long and short, both nice leverage. So you are looking at some of those ETFs there. This one here, the SPYU, the 4X levered ETN. Woo! And then the SPXS. That is a common one that we look at here. That's going to be your 3X levered S&P bear shares here. So if you think the S&P is going to roll over, maybe this is a buy here. I like the SQQQ most myself.
That bottom I identified in Hood apparently was it. It has turned around and retaken VWAP, headed higher. So that 1668, when that first visit down there, that retest was the and that subsequent green candle. That was the indication. Now it's moving higher. Did not take this trade. Hopefully some of y'all did.
By the way, I don't think I've ever mentioned this before, but I love the pronunciation of subsequent. It's a nice little mix-up that I absolutely love. Maybe it's a Texas thing, which I also love.
Okay.
13 is not amused. 13 is not amused.
I'm smiling.
Lassie, you know what's funny about this mention here, Wiss? I actually, for the first time in my life, I know we've traded this a bunch here on the show, right off the relative volume scanner, seen a number of PRs that end up moving this. I saw for the first time this morning a commercial about this company mentioning the ticker on CNBC this morning. I've never seen that before. Maybe there has been some in the past, but this company is advertising for their company. The commercial was about a laser product that can shoot down drone swarms, which actually sounded pretty sweet. But I stayed out of it. Okay. Yeah, I saw that too. Okay. So I'm not the only one. Saw it this morning, first time. Be interesting to see if that has any effect on the stock price. Kind of wondering if that's part of a promotion. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
When did we talk about? Because we actually had a discussion about this on Happy Hour about what the drone swarm, the anti-drone swarm counter would be. Remember that conversation we had, and you were and I had said no, it's going to be lasers because the munitions are so cheap. It costs cents. Just
isn't it a speed thing too, right? Isn't it easier if you're shooting a laser? It's the speed of light. If you're shooting a projectile, you're limited by the mass of the projectile, right? Like, isn't it easier to shoot these drones down with lasers?
Easier and cheaper, yes.
So to me, that looks like a winning combo.
I'm just trying to recall when that discussion was had, because if this was like just before this move, we didn't take advantage of that.
Folks, Eli Lilly, if you're looking for another trade here, perhaps we break the intraday lows and move lower here. This would be something to watch. For another trade. I will watch this when we are off. We are going to have to end here real quick. I'm going to end with this. Jason Rempe, first of all, are you related to the Rempire State Building for the New York Rangers? Because that would be really cool. I wanted to get into day trading, so I've been watching you guys the last couple of mornings. Watching you has me excited to give it a try. Awesome. Understand the risks prior, but I think that's really, really sweet. And I'm glad that we are giving you some type of benefit. That really makes me happy as well. It is time for us to go. 13, any closing words for the group?
It seems like it's been a bit of a boring day, but the day is still not over. Maybe it might be just a good thing to just kind of watch and see what happens. If you've got other stuff to do, go do it. Don't stick around the market and watch it be boring. Other than that, enjoy yourselves. I'll see you folks tomorrow. Have a great day.
Likewise. And we're talking about Lassie, so maybe watch and see if they PR something about sharks with freaking lasers attached to their heads. Folks, take care, stay green, stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow.